cash out is his book. It's subtitled How an African Startup Changed the Face of Banking in Emerging Markets. And with that, Hannes van Rensburg.
So, I mean, I can stand and talk, but I actually want to just chat with you a little bit. It's so nice to be here in a startup environment. So, my background is founded Fundamo in 2000 and killed myself trying to get this thing going. Only started getting traction in 2007, so 7 years of death, effectively. And then it really took off and became the standard for doing mobile payments in the world, in emerging markets. Let me put it this way. So I'm sure you've heard of things like M-Pesa in Kenya, and I don't know if you've heard of Easy Paisa in Pakistan, and Bcash in Bangladesh. Many of those deployments, the one in Kenya not, but many of the subsequent M-Pesa deployments ran on Fundamo platforms. So Fundamo was never a consumer brand. It was, and it still is, the platform that actually runs one in every 3 mobile money payment transactions in emerging markets today, or at least when I last checked. I don't know what Visa did with it in the meantime. No, there's nobody from Visa, so I can be honest about it. And yes, I think our technology changed the whole economy of many countries. Fundamentally, I mean, Bcash in Bangladesh is an amazing story. If you don't know about it, you should read about it. I mean, we effectively, with our technology and our partners in Bangladesh, we created the biggest bank in Bangladesh in 4 years' time, from scratch, from nothing. And so it was an amazing journey. Sold the business in 2011, stayed for 2 years with Visa. I had a dream that I can change Visa, but they didn't listen to me, so I left.
Did they change you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I changed a little bit them as well, so we can compare notes. And then I did what I think everybody is kind of supposed to do when you exit with money, is kind of go into a semi-retirement. I did all the things that I always wanted to do, go into the Himalayas, had a train trip across the US from New York to California, did all those kind of things, and I need to tell you this. I mean, I need to kind of tell you this. It was the worst 2 years of my life. And so when I see you guys, and I walk through the cubicles and the dreams and so forth, enjoy it, because that is the best time of your life. The 7 years that we almost killed ourselves in building Fundamo from nothing to a multinational company, that was the best years of my life. And so then I said, wait a minute, I need to get back, and I asked around, I checked around, talked to people that I know, and so I joined ACI as Senior Vice President of New Business Development in the payment space. I don't know how many of you know ACI. It's the biggest software company producing payment software, and it's headquartered in Naples. So I sold everything, and cars and houses and stuff, and I live in Naples now. And it's quite a culture shock on many levels. You know, I mean, I'm busy trying to get to Florida driver's license, and I thought a pavement was kind of a sidewalk. So so it's things like that I have to get used to. I mean, the thing that is kind of the most shocking is, if you write something with a pencil in my world, right, and you don't like what you've written, right, then you rub it out with a rubber, right, and I hear it's called an eraser here, so. So I'm going through a culture shock, not just with working with a big company, but also being in a strange world. I mean, one of the things that always just gets to me is like the choices you guys have got here. It's like I go into a shop and I say, I would like to have a sandwich, and then they say, what kind of bread? I say, I want a sandwich. And then I say, okay, do you want a cheese? Yes, I want cheese. What kind of cheese? I say, you have cheddar? What kind of cheddar? So, I mean, this is an amazing place to live. But it is really great for me to be here and to be amongst a group of people that's starting things, thinking about how to do it, and maybe I can share a little bit of our journey, things that we experienced, things that we have done in stupidity, and out of that learned. And then maybe talk a little bit about financial services, seeing that it's Next Money, and what we have done and what we can do about it. And maybe what I should do is rather than try and tell you things, is maybe share some stories with you. I think that's easier than trying to be clever, because the journey has taught me that I'm more stupid and naive than actually clever. So picture this. There's a country in Africa called Cameroon, and the capital city of Cameroon is Douala. And it's late at night, and there's a tropical storm, and there's a Kenya airline jet, brand new 737 jet, on the tarmac, requesting clearance to take off to fly to Nairobi, and it's just before midnight. And the captain gets told that he can take off if he takes the decision, but they feel that the weather is not good. But the captain is under pressure because there's a lot of connecting flights. If he gets into Nairobi late, a lot of the connecting flights will not be met, and so he decides to take off. That was 2007, May 2007, and the plane disappears with radar, and they search for it, ultimately find it in a swamp. Everybody passed away in the plane. On the plane was two individuals, the CEO of MTN Cameroon and the financial director of MTN Cameroon. And the relevance for my story is that they were coming to Johannesburg for business, but amongst others we would meet them and sign a contract. A critical contract for us at that stage. A contract that if we didn't get it, would mean that our cash flow would run out by the end of June, and we would basically have to close down the business. 7 years after we started the company, it would have been the end of the company if we didn't close that deal. And clearly when we wake up and we got the news that our friends, people that we know, had passed away, of course it was shattering news just for them and for their families. But after you think about it and you go and sit in your office, then you think, what am I going to do now? At that stage, we were 25 people, and that was their job. And my board had told me this is the last time, my shareholders, this is the last time they put money in the business. I'm sure you're aware of situations like that. I had an overdraft from a bank that I was using to run the cash flow of the business, so a short-term loan, and it was the end of the business, 2007. And there was nothing that I could do about it. As a matter of fact, I've done everything right, but things out of my control created a situation where the business was going to die. And the way that we ran the business, that I ran the business, there was a core of people that we were very close, three of us, that we didn't share the stress of running the business with everybody else in the business. And so we got together and said, what are we going to do about it? And we made a plan. A few things happened for us that actually helped us to get out of it. We managed to sell some of our source code. An ironic thing about this is the source code that we sold to a company called S1, a US Atlanta-based company, a listed company. That source code, S1 got sold to ACI. I'm just deviating because I just suddenly thought of that. S1 got sold, or ACI bought S1, and there's still some Fundamo software running in the company that I'm working for now. And as a matter of fact, the connections that I had was created during that time when we sold our source code to S1. But nevertheless, the point is that we kept on saying there must be a plan. And I think that's a very important thing about a startup in my mind. A startup that grows just astronomically from day one is very, very unlikely. I haven't seen many of those. As a matter of fact, I've never seen any of those. A startup will go through a situation where you're going to get confronted with something that is impossible, and which is going to mean the end of the business. But if you are a founder with a vision, then the success of that startup will be dependent on your approach of saying, there must be a way. There must be a way. Going back and saying, I will make a plan and I will pull it through. And for me, that's an important lesson of never to